competitively since the Champions League group stage in 2010, which seems amazing given that these are two of Europe's biggest clubs and we haven't had a meeting competitively for 14 years.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre, isn't it, when you've got these two monoliths, these two giants of European football that they haven't met in 14 years, competitively that is.
24th time Real Madrid have been in the United States on tour, and the 5th friendly to be played between European sides at Soldier Field is underway. It's a beautiful night, decent levels of humidity, nothing too high. A good opportunity to get some match practice in the legs for both sides. And for Milan, who've already faced Manchester City, thought in the first half of that game on Saturday at Yankee Stadium, they played at brilliant tempo, high intensity, and I think that's something that a lot of the teams that have come to the United States are doing. We saw it last night if you watched Manchester City against Barcelona. You know there's going to be a lot of changes in the second half, so the referee's blown his whistle here, but the managers are saying, hey, give me 45 minutes, everything you've got, and then we'll make the change.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we hear from the crowd, I think the atmosphere is almost oozing, pervading down, if you will, onto the players. And I think also probably the more pertinent point is the fact that the managers are saying you've got 45 minutes. Yes, there's heat, yes, there's humidity, but get out there and really press high. Let's see what you can do. And it's no surprise here that Real Madrid are doing exactly that early on.
Mistake. Channel in the early stages. It's not often you see a game involving Real Madrid and one team's all in white and it's not Real Madrid.
Yeah, certainly it's very strange looking down there and you seeing Real Madrid all in orange. I think you gave a little passing nod to Enrique as well, wearing the 16, playing up front, playing through the middle. The youngster, 18 years of age, is all well and good in dealing with the pressure back in Brazil. We're playing either for the national team or for Palmeiras. Something completely different when you're playing in that Goldfish Bowl in Madrid.
Tomori alongside Thiaut at the back for Milan. Well, Benacer, Chukwueze. Calabria. Tries to deliver early. The touch was vital by Jesus Vallejo. Rudiger. Going alongside Vallejo. Central defence. Ahead of Benacer. Hendrick is fouled. So if you think it's noisy right now, when the team, Real Madrid, arrived on the bus and it was shown on the big screen, it was deafening, the noise. They hadn't even got onto the pitch yet. This is about an hour and a half ago, and it was noisy.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I talk about. It's inevitable almost that the atmosphere transfers down onto the pitch, and we're seeing it early on here. We haven't seen much goal-mouth action, obviously, small sample size, Mark, but it's been played at a decent tempo.
Nicely done by Mattia Liberali. Fortunately for Milan, unable to keep possession. And it's back with Thibaut Courtois, overlooked by the Belgians. But good to see him back after the ACL in training last August. Tried to make his comeback in March and ruptured his meniscus. Fresh start, new season. Courtois sent it on its way.
Well, it's that calming influence, isn't it, here at the back? They've got it through the centre of the team, the spine of the team, if you will. Courtois, Rudiger, obviously Modric as well, experienced all through that middle of the field until you get up to it. Obviously the 18-year-old, the teenager up front.
Big chance! Chukwueze denied, sloppy at the back from Real Madrid. A super save by Thibaut Courtois.
Saves like these that make it very, very hard to think of Courtois ever being overlooked.
Well, one back. The bright start from Milan. There's an issue for Hendrick, who's just at halfway now and hobbling. That is not what you want to see 4 minutes into your first pre-season friendly. And your lad who was signed for between 35 and 60 million, depending on how well he does.
Well, what you don't do, Mark, is you don't risk a player, do you? You certainly don't risk an 18-year-old that you spent that much money on. in your first game in pre-season, you make sure you protect him. Maybe it's just something you felt seems to be moving pretty well here in the centre of the park.
Chukwueze looked lively on Saturday against Manchester City. Tio for Perociano. Salamakers. Salamaker's positioning's an interesting one because a lot of the time, last season and at the weekend, he played wide left, then he cut inside. A couple of times he swapped sides against Manchester City. He played really well. New coach for Milan, Paulo Fonseca. 51-year-old, replacing Stefano Pioli. The early signs were good. Milan's first pre-season game. Benacer wide.
I think Fonseca's going to be kidded on though that it's about pre-season, is he, Mark? The point is right though. They've made a decent fist of it early on in pre-season. But for AC Milan fans and Fonseca, of course, it's all about how do they close that gap on Inter Milan. 19-point gap in Serie A. As monumental it really is, and that gap needs to be closed. It needs to be closed rapidly. Of course, that starts in pre-season, and then it doesn't get going until a couple of weeks' time, 2.5 weeks' time, when Serie A starts.
Benacer. Tomori. A good ball into Benacer. That's a good ball through though from Calabria. And a good save from Courtois. That's the second chance that Milan has had, but it remains goalless. Against a lesser goalkeeper, Milan could be 2-0 up.
Yeah, they really could. Look, the first one was the better of the two saves, that is for certain. But they've looked a little porous defensively of Real Madrid so far. Well, shouldn't be surprised, you've already said it, man. We're only 7 minutes into their pre-season.
Benacer. The offside flag up against Mattia Nasti. So let's go back to this Madrid chance that they gave up. Nicely worked. It's a comfortable save. It did enough to make sure that it was far enough away, but it was the earlier effort from Chukwueze. It's probably the better one. Now, I want to take you back a couple of minutes. You saw Endrick limping. That was because of this from Tomori.
Yeah, it's just the knee. You see it, the knee of Tomori just going almost into the backside, the right hip of Endrick, maybe just the side of the thigh muscle. He'll be fine though, it's nothing more than a contact injury, you would imagine. And he's already proven that he can run that off, but let's go back to the Courtois saves. The first one was the difficult one, the second one was made far too easy, he didn't really even need to move. Just put that long lever down, that long right hand down, it's a comfortable save.
Nicely done in midfield, away from Salamakers. Martin with the ball forward after the good work from Ceballos. Modric said he was an option. It's a decoy, now he picks it up.
Well, Modric is always an option, isn't he? That's the brilliant thing about him, that's the beauty of him. Sometimes he just stands still to get some distance and some space.
Fran García very wide on this near side. Ceballos, Rudiger. There's that run, flag stays down for now and then goes up. Confirmation, Arda Güler was off, but what a Euros he had. Got that goal against Georgia, but his all-round game was fantastic for just 19 years old.
Yeah, it's an absolute joy to watch. Arda Güler, of course, Endrick through the middle, the two teenagers on show. They've got 5'24" and under in this Real Madrid side. Youngsters playing as well, let's not forget for AC Milan, Mark, 5'22" and under with two teenagers themselves. So this is a young team out here for both teams.
pass just beyond Calabria, who's doing his best to get forward as often as possible, but it's been given away by Brahim Diaz. Loftus-Cheek for Salama. One made by Terracciano. Was the decoy in from Salamakers and beyond for a goal kick. But again, impressive ball movement from Milan, and Ancelotti not happy with Real Madrid there, especially Brahim Diaz for giving the ball away initially.
Well, that's the thing, they haven't had a decent spell of possession, have Real Madrid. With 10 minutes in, and it's been a real struggle for them to get a foothold in the game. Let's not forget though, this is their first game of pre-season. AC Milan have played Man City, they've played Rapid Vienna. They're quite used to it almost, they're used to the heat, they're used to each other as well. The gel in the cohesion is obvious for us to see right now.
Paulo Fonseca previously at Lille. This is a big task for him. In Serie A with Roma. That's what it's like. It's a step up.
It's a step up in terms of expectation levels, isn't it, Mark? That's the thing.
So Brahim Diaz providing the option out wide for the left back, Fran García. There was like a second skin, making sure there was no time whatsoever for Brahim. That's good from Vallejo. Quick ball forward. It's Vázquez. Foul on Mario Martin. Not sure why the referee decided not to allow the quick play, the quick advantage. Nice little flick by Endrick. Brahim looking for Endrick. Flanks up. Andrew Bigelow on the far side was quick with the flag. But a great piece of intricate passing and movement.
Well, that's the word, it's the intricacy, it's magnificent from Brahim and Luka Modric, and he just couldn't quite take it in stride, could Endrick. You see he's just strayed half a foot offside, but then the touch as well, it's just in behind him.
Salamakers on the other end, good block by Vallejo, hands were by his side, it breaks for Loftus-Cheek. How quickly Milan have got from defence to attack has been one of the things of note in the opening 12 minutes.
What's that imperative word, isn't it? Transition, they've transitioned fantastically. Salamakers on that left-hand side has done really well so far early on, less than a quarter of an hour in.
Gonna thread the needle for Terracciano, gets the corner. So here's the effort. Watch the arm position of Jesus Vallejo. So that is never in a million years going to be given by the letter of the law. It's not a penalty, and on we go. Once the arm is outstretched, once the silhouette of the body is not a natural position, then we get into that minutiae. We are not going there tonight. We do not wish to go there in a pre-season friendly, and by Salamakers over the head of everybody. Was probably the closest, and away it goes.
Well, everybody at home is breathing a sigh of relief, Mark, that we're not getting into the grey area and the intricacies of the handball. Or
super attendance at Soldier Field for this one. There's been a lot of excitement, and you and I have been here doing the tourist thing outside, taking a look at Soldier Field and down by the harbour, and there were fans here since about 2 o'clock.
Well, we had quite a nice stroll down by the harbour, Mark, that's for certain.
Busy day in the city. Traffic, yeah. Like the handball law, let's not go there with the Chicago traffic. It's busy. Here's Endrick. For Brahim.
Obviously, the other good thing we don't have to get into, Mark, apart from the traffic and the handball law, is VAR either. We don't have to negotiate that.
Could have done with it last night, goal line technology in Orlando. Erling Haaland had the ball over the line, but wasn't spotted by the official. Arda Güler, good strength. Possession. Mario Martin. Luka Modric. Space on this near side for Fran García. Paulo Fonseca and Carlo Ancelotti right at the edge of their technical area. In fact, Fonseca's outside of his. Not that it matters, but making sure that they're heard above the din, get their instructions across. Heavy touch from Chukwueze. Ceballos. Good footwork.
Magnificent from Ceballos, just down here, twinkle toe down that touchline just below us. Great feet, manipulates the ball really well with either feet for Ceballos.
Here he is again. He was actually linked with Milan this summer. Basically an agent with a journalist friend saying, do me a favour, stick it in the press.
Oh, so cynical, mate, so cynical. But absolutely right.
The one note of concern is we already have a wave after 15 minutes, maybe a little bit too early. Modric with the switch. Fran García. Brahim Diaz. That's why they do those rondos in training, the short, quick passing, the moving. They're making sure there's an option, then the switch of play from Arda Güler. And what a take that was. Lucas Vázquez. Good touch from Salamakers. Defended that really well. There's a lot of talented individuals on show tonight. Loftus-Cheek though wanting far too long. Then goes Arda Güler. Play on. Intensity level just increased a little bit here. Shot from distance is on, but right down the throat of the goalkeeper. It remains goalless after 60 minutes. And Lorenzo Torriani is called into action for the first time.
Yeah, I love the fact that there's a lot of talent down there on show, Mark, but equally there's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of players willing to work on both sides of the ball. Salamakers being one of them. We've seen him playing in the final third of the pitch for the most of this game, 16 and a half minutes in, but he's not scared to come back and do the hard work, the dirty work, and help out his left back.
Don't be surprised if you might see one or two empty seats right now that in 20 minutes are filled. Getting to this stadium is not easy down by the shore, Lake Michigan. A bit of a clumsy challenge from Hendrick.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of frustration from the youngster. Hendrick hasn't really got into the game yet.
What are the expectations for him as far as game time is concerned? Because obviously Kylian Mbappe comes back, there's Vinny Jr., there's Rodrigo.
It's going to be a bit part player, that's factual, I think. He may be multi-talented, he may be in the Brazil starting lineup at times, but he is only 18 years of age. This is his first season in Europe. Yes, he played in the Copa Libertadores with Palmeiras. Yes, he played in the Brasileirão for 2, if not 3 seasons with Palmeiras. But this is different. This is a different kettle of fish. It really is. And yeah, I think he's going to be very much a bit part player, at times a cup player, Mark.
Not a bad sub to bring on in games,
exactly.
Is it? Goodness me. Look to the bench, Ancelotti. Oh, there's Hendrick. Route one from Courtois, but not just aimless. Had a purpose for that man, Arda Güler. Just overhit. Down at the pitch a couple of hours before the game and done a good job with the grass here. Good surface.
Yeah,
Field by Calabria.
Absolutely, it's a decent surface here. They're used to having soccer games here. It's the home of the Chicago Fire.
Yep.
MLS fame, we can't forget, so yeah, no surprise. But it does look as though it's playing really well right now.
Chicago Fire could do with one or two of the players that we're seeing tonight right now, given their form.
They could do with about 11 of them.
Wow. Saucer of milk for table 4 for Lawrence. Here's Tomori. Central defensive pairing, we're likely to see a fair bit in Serie A. So last season, Tomori and Thiaw. Of course, Matteo Gabbia, 24-year-old, so another option. Chukwueze, again, as wide as he can be, open things up. Just didn't quite get the angle for Marco Nasti. Rudiger got enough on that to Courtois. It was a big blow at the weekend, losing Florenzi, and the commentary of that one against Manchester City at Yankee Stadium, and the minute he went to ground, you kind of knew it's one of those That's not good and doesn't look good, and hopefully wasn't as bad as it looked, but it was, and he's undergone an operation already for ligament damage in his knee.
Yeah, but you don't want any injuries, do you, in pre-season, let alone one so serious. And yeah, it's a body blow, certainly, for AC Milan, that is for certain. Interesting to see what we get out of Marco Nasti, just 20 years of age. Hasn't quite got into the game yet, but he's been ably marshalled, obviously, by Antonio Rudiger.
Yeah, he got the winner, though, against Manchester City. There's a great switch. We've seen a few of them tonight, diagonals, that have worked. Good defending, had to be as well by Filippo Terracciano. But once again, Lucas Vázquez getting forward and causing issues. First corner of the game goes to Real Madrid.
It's a big part of Real Madrid play, isn't it? Getting those fullbacks pushed on, whether it's García down this left-hand side or Vázquez, as you say, down the right-hand side.
Arda Güler to take. Good area. The header was by Terracciano.
Great area, great delivery, but too many bodies caught underneath the ball, nobody truly attacking the ball. Too many runners to the near post area, nobody coming round the back where the ball ended up. Just want somebody arcing around that back post, and normally you would assume that would be Antonio Rudiger.
8 years since Milan last played here. 2-3 all with Bayern, Soldier Field. Warm welcome back for them. World Cup venue in 1994. Chukwueze does well to keep that alive. But Modric does better. Brahim. Ceballos always on the lookout, his head's on a swivel. There's the free man, there's the pass that's on. There's Arda Güler, Lucas Vázquez, Endrick. Across comes Malik Diop. Corner kick. Real Madrid fans in the stadium wanted a penalty. Referee Rubiel Vázquez having none of it.
It's a little bit behind the play is Rubiel Vázquez. It's a nice ball just slotted through into Endrick. The outlet, so he may just get a touch first. Slightly clumsy, I think a penalty.
That was Salamakers, who was one of the markers. And there was a little push, the referee stopped play. It's a free kick for Milan. Quarter of the way through proceedings at Soldier Field. It's goalless between AC Milan and Real Madrid. 82 degrees, beautiful night for a game of football. Thibaut is the not guilty party, he was involved in the challenge on Endrick, did nothing wrong. Doubt, even if VAR was in operation, that they'd be having a long check on that one. It'd be pretty quick to clear, you would imagine.
Yeah, it was pretty conclusive, wasn't it, for Rubiel Vázquez? It wasn't a clear and an obvious error. Clumsy, I called it, but it was no more than that. Not enough in it for it to be a penalty. Looking for Thiago, just got a toe on it as well.
Off his cheek. Chukwueze, just enough pace to get there. Against Fran García. Goes for the corner, we were right behind that, and it was bending, but he was just too close in for that bend to get on target in time.
Well, he's always going to cut in onto his left-hand side. It's Chukwueze, you know that. Nothing García can do about it to stop it, though. Here's that Endrick, the penalty.
Yeah, it's a good touch.
Or lack thereof. It's a touch, isn't it? It's a touch initially. And Endrick goes to ground a little bit too easily.
What a ball that is. Wow. There's a lot of danger for Ceballos there, but he somehow found the pass to Lucas Vázquez, who's basically playing like a right winger right now. So they're leaving themselves just two at the back, Real Madrid, but it means they've got more options when they come forward, including Fran García. Fullbacks extremely advanced for Los Blancos, who are playing in orange. Naranja Rudiger for Modric. Again, Lucas Vázquez.
Well, you're right, they're leaving themselves with just two at the back, Real Madrid, but that is allowing the fullbacks to be pushed on.
Hendrick with a touch, appeals for the handball, referee waving play on. The appeals came from Tomori. This is Fran García. Good close control from the 24-year-old.
Yeah, with the fullbacks pushed right on as well, it's really dragging back Salamanca's.
What a pass by Modric, in by Fran García. And he's stuck between a rock and a hard place there, trying to control or trying to shoot first time. Salamanca's with the touch forward for Marco Nasti. And a Milan throw. This is filthy.
Well, you don't need a left foot if you can manipulate the ball with the outside of your right like that for Modric. And I don't think he got caught between two minds there on the edge of the penalty area. I think that was just a really poor first touch. For me, just cushion it and strike with a second. But Modric, he might be 38, Mark, but he is a joy to watch.
Thou shalt not pass, says Rudiger. On Mattia Liberali. Great footwork by the youngster. Good chance for the 17-year-old Liberali to make an impression.
Yeah, and all that happened was Rudiger made an impression on him. And that one certainly hurt for Liberali. But yeah, I like the fact that he's willing to get on the ball. 17 years of age, even younger than Hendrick, of course.
This is the perfect time, isn't it? Because you've got all the experience around you, so the coaches can play the youngsters, give the teenagers an opportunity.
There really is that wonderful blend of inexperience and experience in both sides. Also, not sure what the next adjective is for experience with Modric, but he has it, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't have to move a great deal, Modric, but he always finds space, just the way he manipulates the ball with the inside and outside of his right foot. He is wonderful to watch.
Benacer with a switch for Salama. Real Madrid begin their La Liga campaign on the 18th of August in Mallorca. Milan are at home the day before to begin their Serie A campaign against Torino.
Oh boy, does it come round quickly, Mark.
Right, 2.5 weeks and we're up and running again. Hendrick at the outside of the free pass, defended well, otherwise Lucas Vázquez might have been clean through on goal.
Well, for most players, it's almost no break at all, is it? Whether it's Copa America or whether it's the Euros, best players in the world play throughout the year. It's almost a 12 months of the year game.
Well, Pep Guardiola's comments were very interesting. He was asked when the players that were involved in both Copa America and Euro 2024 would come back. He said, when they want, when they feel ready. Arda Güler. Fran García. It's good defending. Had to be as well by Davide Calabria. That's a good battle, that one. All credit to Marco Nasti. It'd be easy to be intimidated by the imposing figure of Antonio Rudiger. Arda Güler. Looking for Ceballos. That's Fran García in support.
It's a little struggle for Real Madrid maybe in the opening 10 minutes of the game, Mark, but they've really come back into it since then. Just as I say that, they obviously give the ball away.
How many times does that happen in broadcasting? The curse of the commentator, but it doesn't work reverse. You can't do it for your own team. It never works like that. I've tried, trust me. approached the half hour. It's goalless, but it's been entertaining. There's been chances at either end. Courtois has been busier than Torriani. Milan come forward again. Calabria. Benacer. Switch has always been on. Slightly surprised, given the impact that he made at the weekend, that the man in possession of the ball right now, Salamakers, hasn't seen too much of it tonight.
Yeah, opening 10 minutes and no more than that. Apart from that, Salamakers has been tracking back, and the majority of the time has been tracking back. Vázquez, obviously. Vázquez may be 33 years of age, but he is absolutely bombing up and down that right-hand side. I think he's said it on more than one occasion, Mike. He's almost an auxiliary right winger at times.
Well, he's allowed to with the shape, because they've got 3 forwards and then 3 kind of central midfielders, so there is space for the left full-back and the right full-back to get forward.
Yeah, and Güler naturally likes to come in from that right-hand side as well. It just opens up that space down that right flank for Vázquez.
Milan players getting the bird for keeping possession from the Real Madrid supporters. And it's time for a hydration break with the temperature at 82 degrees. Players will come off and get some fluid. So half an hour gone, what have you made of what you've seen so far, Matty?
I think that AC Milan started the better of the two teams, but I would expect that considering this is their 3rd game of pre-season. I think Real Madrid looked a little bit sluggish, but I'm probably not surprised that Real Madrid have now come back into it, and for me, I think they're the better team.
That was the thing I was just about to mention. Carlo Ancelotti and Endrick, the first player that he went to, a 65-year-old with an 18-year-old, and in the middle, a 38-year-old, Luka Modric. You speak to so many players, you read so many players in the press conferences talking about Carlo Ancelotti and how good he is as a man manager. And you see the photos when they win all the trophies of the cigar out, the European Cup aloft. You've got to remember as well, he's won more Champions Leagues, European Cups, with tonight's opponents, Milan, 2 as a player, 2 as a manager, and he's won 3. So it's a special fixture for Don Carlo.
Yeah, and I think also you talk about the man management, and we can't forget that man management is almost managing youths at times. Enrique's only just turned into adulthood, only just turned into 18, so he's managing an 18-year-old alongside managing a 38-year-old in Modric. I think it takes a special character who understands what he can and can't say to players that have 2 decades between them. And you've got Endrick, who's just started to make his way in the game. You've got Modric, who's absolutely won almost everything, barring the World Cup with Croatia. Got very, very close, obviously. So for me, that's part of it. Yes, the man management, but it's the fact that he's man managing 17, 18-year-olds all the way up through players in their late 30s, coming to almost the twilight of their career, or very much the twilight of their career, in Modric's case.
From a man in Carlo Ancelotti, who's been there for a while, to, on the other side, Paulo Fonseca, who's just arrived, but he's got plenty talent in reserve. Yunus Musa and that man, Christian Pulisic. Hopefully, we'll get to see him. Not ready to start games just yet. I think he got 12 minutes against Manchester City. I'm not sure they wanted to give him any minutes, but he's back home. He's a Pennsylvania boy, and here in Chicago, hopefully we get to see him for maybe 10-15 minutes at the end of this one.
I was about to say 15 to 20 minutes maximum, you would have thought. Of course, we don't know precisely what's going on with the sports scientists, of course, but yeah, you don't want to push him. You know of the injury woes and travails of the career of Christian Pulisic, but we can't forget what a good season he had last season with AC Milan. I think he needs to now step up again this season coming as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do with AC Milan under Fonseca.
12 goals in Serie A last season from 32 starts. Not a bad return.
Yeah.
But
Great
quite
return.
rightly say, now it's taking it to the next level. Back underway, Salamakers gives it away. Here's Modric.
Yeah, for me the next level is consistency as well, Mark. It's all well and good doing it for one season, the best players in the world do it for 3, 4, 5 and onward seasons. Look at Modric, he's done it for the last 15, 20 seasons.
Vallejo. You could have given me probably 20 guesses as to one player that would be doing that, and Vallejo would be either guest number 21 or 22 of the 22 players on show.
Certainly looked like a ball-playing centre-half there, didn't he?
Chukwueze's throw. Pressure from Hendrik. Tomori.
You'd love to know what was being said between Ancelotti and Hendrik, because he has struggled to get into the game. We're 35 minutes in, hasn't had that many touches of the ball. He had that lovely little run just inside where he was a foot offside, but he couldn't take the ball in his stride. Apart from that, we've not seen a great deal of him.
Loftus-Cheek spots Chukwueze in acres of space, with Fran García having tucked in. Garcia does really well. Brahim comes on the chance. Hendrik. Brahim Diaz. That close.
Just talked about Hendrik getting into the game, and he pulls off nicely. It's a lovely couple of touches, and then he's unselfish and feeds Brahim Diaz. He just can't whip that right foot around the ball enough. In the sense, maybe if it was on the other side, he'd have really truly been able to get his left foot around it, but there, not enough spinning parts, never really going to trouble the goalkeeper.
Just want to go back to Hendrik for a minute. Something I've always thought about football, the more the transfer fee, the more the pressure. It doesn't make them a better player. It's not like you pay 100 million for someone, you're going to get 100 million worth of talent. Harry Maguire was an 80 million defender, and it was something that was around his neck right from the beginning. It's hard, it's pressure. The more you get paid, as far as the transfer fee is concerned, the harder it can be sometimes if you don't start well.
Well, the best players in the world have a strong mentality. And as part of that strong mentality is obviously not only playing well on the field, but it's ignoring the pressure that's going on around. It's not your fault how much money you get paid, not your fault how much money teams pay for you in terms of a transfer fee, but it's easier said than done, and Harry Maguire struggled with it. It wasn't just the fee though, it was the fact that he was going to a bigger football club, and that's exactly the same as what Hendrik's doing here. He's gone from Palmeiras, yes, a massive club, 2 times Copa Libertadores winners in the last few years, but it absolutely pales into insignificance compared to Real Madrid. He is living inside a goldfish bowl in Madrid. How does he deal with it? And we'll see.
Couple of trips to the Plaza de Cibeles last season for Real Madrid, the title and the European Cup. Number 15. Will there be more this season? Rudiger. What skills does Vallejo have for us here? Reminiscent of you in your prime. Did you try that in the FA Cup final in 04 against Man United?
It would be nicer, but I've seen the ball in the FA Cup final against Manchester United, that's for certain. I think I did a kick-off, that was about it.
20 years ago, where's the time
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much.
And now you're with me. Where did it all go wrong? Tomori for Calabria, and Milan can build from the back.
Well, it started with the kick-off and then it went downhill from there.
Your FA Cup final. Thiago. Loftus-Cheek. Both sides have named 12 subs. Yay, says the commentator. It's pre-season, it's what you do. It's an opportunity to get game time in the legs. Those who've started well-earned rest. That's a good touch. Had to be as well by Tomori, because Güler and Hendrik were ready to pounce. Salamakers taking on Lucas Vázquez, back defending now. It's a decent first touch, might have been offside. Marco Nasti was indeed his ball, he was just in that area, benefited from the loose touch.
Yeah, the flag was delayed a little bit. It certainly looked as though it was the correct decision from the man just below us. The game's lulled a little bit.
It has.
Since the hydration break. We should expect it. You talked at the beginning of the game, Mark, about both managers asking for a solid 45 and then there'll be changes. You would assume that will happen here.
I think there's been positives and negatives for both coaches. That for a switch from Mario Martin. Defended though. Filippo Terracciano. Interesting there that Mario Martin went for the header. I wondered if he might have got a call from Rudiger just to leave that one. Rudiger was behind him. But no harm, no foul. Vallejo back to Courtois. He was busy in the early stages. If you're just joining us, a couple of saves. Inside 7 minutes from Thibaut Courtois. It's just great to see him back after his injury issues last season. And that's a great delivery of the football for Lucas Vázquez. He wants it back and gets it back from Arda Güler.
This is just born of frustration. Friendly hasn't seen a lot of the ball. Tracking back is never going to get anywhere near that. A bit of a wild slash with the left leg.
5 minutes of normal time remaining. There was a 3-minute hydration break. Battle between Chukwueze and Rudiger. So, give me one player, if you wouldn't mind, from either side that stood out for you in this first half.
I think Ceballos did for the first 20-25 minutes. I don't think anybody has truly stood out for the whole 41 minutes we've had. I think Ceballos got into the game very nicely. After that little bit of a lull period for Real Madrid, who was really pulling the strings. Since then, not so much.
While you're thinking about the Milan player, it's Fran García. Immediate apology from Arda Güler. Poor pass, he knows it, but they've won it back through Fran García. Güler's movement for a youngster is exceptional. It's not all about getting the ball all the time. He never stops moving. Lucas Vázquez against Terracciano. Brahim, all dressed up with nowhere to go. Good work defensively by Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Rudiger gets beyond Calabria. Just couldn't quite get enough purchase. German defender receiving the acclaim of the large crowd, which the majority wearing the uniforms of Los Blancos. Tomori. Calabria.
Well, I gave my player for Real Madrid, Mark. I think Chukwueze really is the only one that's flourished at all in the first half for AC Milan over a significant period. I just love how dynamic and direct he is when he gets on the ball. I've only seen it once or twice with the ability to go at Fran García, but I think that the majority of that has been down to the fact that Real Madrid have been dominating the possession in probably the last 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, without really having an end product.
Yes.
Benacer. Runs made by Terracciano, by Salamakers, but it's too much.
Well, here was that lovely little 1-2 between Rudiger and Endrick, but then I want to see Endrick go again. He plays that 1-2, but then I want to see him darting for that near post if he can. He stops, he almost admires the 1-2. I want to see him then go in again if he can get across the face of the goalkeeper. He sees that Rudiger is struggling to really pull the ball back to him.
It's actually a smart foul to give away because Dani Ceballos was in acres down this left-hand side, awaiting the pass, which never came because of the foul. Free kick Real Madrid. He was aware, you saw the little look there, he knew exactly where his teammate was. Smart foul by Liberali. can get away with those without getting a yellow card. A little small victory. Arda Güler playing a high line Milan here. They're all over the place. 2 went back, 2 stayed forward. Endrick. Well read by Salamakers. Chukwueze. Just noticing a little bit increasing tempo in the last couple of minutes of this one. The game had a lull, had a bit of a break. It's picked up again with Salamakers. Chukwueze to his right. Cross comes Rudiger, but it was actually the run of Chukwueze that took Fran García with him that allowed the space to run into. Okay, so we had a 3-minute cooling break for hydration, and now there's 1 added minute at the end of the half. 3-1. It's not going there.
Just another of those grey areas, I think.
Oh yes.
Mathematics, the rule of the handball law, traffic in Chicago.
Yeah, don't call it rules. Oh,
No,
they don't like
laws.
laws of the game, not rules of the game.
Laws of the game, very well.
Final 60 seconds or so. There will be time for Milan to take this one. I think I said in commentary last night that the goal at the end of the first half was scored in added time on top of added time. But remember, it is a minimum of 1 added minute. Nothing to lose here. Get it in the box, see what you can do. You've got Tomori. You've got Thibaut. You've got Loftus-Cheek. Big boys in there. Nasty's trying to get clear as well. Chukwueze at the back post. This goes long. A lot of options here. It does go long. For Chukwueze. Head down just has too much, but that acrobatic effort had made contact. That would have been something special. As the ball is stumped into the night sky by Thibaut Courtois, the referee, Vázquez, blows the whistle for half-time. No goals, but it's been entertaining enough, and we've seen Endrick for the first time as Paulo Fonseca's Milan are 0-0 at the